Larry Taylor here with the Word in Focus. Thank you for joining me. Doing a little series I call Mythbusters, and wanted to just talk briefly about socialism. I find that most of the people around me who use that term don't really even know what it is. They associate it, I think, some of them at least, they associate it with totalitarian governments in South America or Eastern Europe or elsewhere. Socialism is an economic system, not a governmental system. True socialism would mean that the government owns and controls all the businesses. It is the economic system that can be paired with any form of government, whether that form is democratic or communist or whatever. True socialism in that sense is very rare. More often, what you have are varying degrees of government control. And I find that many of the people that I'm in contact with who use the word socialism almost always in a negative sense, really, if you press them, what they mean by that is government control of anything. And I suppose if you press that to its logical conclusion, that what they would be in favor of, at least theoretically, would be a completely unregulated capitalistic system. Now, in the United States, we have never had that, and I don't think we want that. A completely unregulated capitalistic system winds up grossly exploiting people. It winds up tolerating slavery, child labor, working conditions that are absolutely horrendous, which of course is what led to the labor movement. Winds up a system where the only thing that matters is the financial bottom line. No matter who gets hurt, no matter who dies, no matter what gets polluted, all that matters is making money in a completely unregulated society. It's an unjust society. So I think most of us recognize when we think about it that we need regulation. So the question is how much and to what degree. And, depending on the circumstance and depending on the company, we can argue about that. A single-payer healthcare system, similar to that which is in Canada, that which is in Israel, that which is in Germany, Great Britain, similar to that which is in virtually every developed nation except the United States, is not socialism, nor is it socialized medicine. In true socialized medicine, all the doctors and nurses and such would be employees of the government. Single payer simply means that the government pays the health insurance premiums. And so various companies compete for the business, and the premiums are paid. How are they paid? Well, they're paid out of people's taxes. Some of the tax money that's spent goes into providing the premiums that then give health insurance to everyone. And in those situations that I mentioned, like Israel and so on, all the hospitals and clinics accept that, and therefore everyone has access to health care. That is not socialized medicine. Doctors aren't working for the government. Now, under that system, can they make as much money as they could under a completely free system? The answer is probably no, at least for some of them. But all of them can be well compensated. And all of them can live a very decent standard of living. And everyone, regardless of their economic position, regardless of their background, regardless of their education or their ethnicity or the language they speak or their religion, everyone can receive good health care. People in Great Britain, people in Canada, people in Israel love their health care systems. And if you go visit those countries, people aren't like dropping dead in the streets for lack of health care. Their health care in many areas is superior. So, there's a lot of nuances and a lot of tweaks and arguments that could be made. But I think as believers, and this is the point I want to make, I think we need to be careful with throwing words around that we don't really know the definitions to. The word socialism is like thrown around as an evil. And it's so easy to just dip the big brush in the bucket and slap the title socialism on things without really understanding what we're saying, just simply to stir up emotions against whatever it is that we're against. As believers, we need to speak the truth. As believers, we need to present our opinions as carefully researched and as lovingly presented as we can. As believers, we need to listen deeply to opinions different from our own. And as believers, we need to care deeply for one another. Thanks for listening.